Welcome to English Without Limits. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about prepositions of movement. Prepositions of movement are words that tell us how one thing is moving in relationship to something else. One thing can go over another thing, or under it, or around it. We often have to describe how something has moved, or to tell someone where to go. And these can be important for that. I hope you enjoy the lesson. Before we go on to our new material, let's review some of the stuff we learned in our last class. We learned about the present perfect tense. Do you remember how to form the present perfect? Do you remember what it means? Well, let's join the class as they begin to review the present perfect tense.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. How are you today? Good. Good. Do you remember what we were talking about in the last lesson? No? Perfect present. Present perfect, right? Can you give me an example of a sentence using the present perfect?
Why?
Like you have cooked.
Could
You have been swimming, maybe? Something that happened in the past. Can you think of any more? Like if I ask you a question, have you ever eaten chicken? Yes. I have eaten chicken. What about have you ever been swimming? No, say it in a sentence. No, I have not been swimming. Or haven't been swimming. Good job.
All right, well, let's continue a little bit more with this review and add a bit more material to what the teacher said. Remember now that the present perfect tense is about things that are finished. The word perfect can mean completed or finished. So these are things that are finished by the present time. They are completed by now. So the present perfect tense emphasizes, it stresses the idea that these things have been finished. And of course, they had to happen in the past in order to be finished by the present. But why don't we use the simple past tense? Well, the simple past tense emphasizes the time that something happened. But the present perfect tense does not try to talk about the time. The time is unspecified, remember? And it simply says this thing is finished, or it says it happened, maybe once, maybe more than once, but it happened. And so I could say to you something like, have you ever been to Singapore? And you would answer, I have been to Singapore, or no, I have not been to Singapore. And if you were trying to tell me when it happened, then you would use the simple past tense. You would say, I went to Singapore in 2009. Remember how to form the present perfect tense? We take the auxiliary verb have, and we put it in its present form, then we add the past participle of the verb. So we would say things like, I have cooked. She has eaten. Remember, we'll use ed or en on the regular verbs. Usually we use ed though. And for irregular verbs, you just have to use whatever form the irregular verb has. You just have to learn those and memorize them. So let's practice this a little bit now. I will show you a series of questions on the screen, and I will ask the question, have you ever done this thing? And you must answer giving a complete sentence. Yes, I have done this thing, or no, I have not done this thing. All right? Are you ready? Let's begin. Have you ever broken a window? You could say, yes, I have broken a window, or no, I have not broken a window. Have you ever had a pet cat? Have you ever swallowed a worm? Have you ever gone swimming at night? Have you ever had a fight with your brother or sister? Have you ever had a tree house? Have you ever learned to play a musical instrument? Have you ever gone to see a play in a theater? Have you ever lost one of your shoes? Have you ever gone to the hospital? Have you ever cooked a hot dog? Have you ever eaten spaghetti? Have you ever won a race? Have you ever sung in front of a group of people? In an earlier lesson, we learned about prepositions. Prepositions are words that tell us where two things are in relationship to each other. For example, if we're talking about a pencil and a cup, we can say the pencil is on the cup, the pencil is under the cup, the pencil is in the cup, or the pencil is beside the cup. These are prepositions that talk about where something is, but it's not moving. Today we're going to learn about prepositions for things that are moving. So one thing is standing still, and the other thing is moving in a certain way in relation to this thing. And these are the prepositions of movement. We need these because sometimes when you're giving someone directions to get to a place, you have to use some of these words. You would tell someone, go through the tunnel, go under the bridge, go over the staircase. And so these are words that we need quite often. Let's join the class as they begin to learn about these prepositions of movement.
Today we're going to talk about prepositions of movement. Who can tell me what a preposition is? Preposition.
Under the table.
Mm-hmm.
On the table.
Yeah, so it's a word that tells how two things are related to each other. Like there's prepositions of location, prepositions of time, prepositions of movement is one we're going to look at today. So one word that we're going to look at is this one here. What's this one say?
Over.
Over. Can you give me a sentence with over in it? What's a sentence using that word?
Look over.
Look over there. Yeah, what's one with move? We could say move over, maybe. Let's do another word. What's this one? Through. How can we use that in a sentence? How can we use through?
Go through.
Go through. Go through the door, maybe? doorway.
Plane.
Go through the
Plane.
go through the plane, like you're walking through the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at another one. Remember, these words are going to describe movement. What could under? How could we use under in a sentence? Under.
It's mice under the table.
There's mice under the table? Yeah, that wouldn't be one of movement though. Like if I say, Lena, go under the table. That would be one of movement. That would be a preposition of movement. Let's try this one. What's this word?
Table.
Around.
Around the table. Around the plane.
Yeah, so move around the table. So another into. What about go into the box? It's telling you to go into the box would be one. Let's
Go into the box.
Yeah. Maybe you have a fort at home and you're going into it. Go into the fort. What about this? It's two words. What's it say? Out of. How could we use that in a sentence, Tanya? What about get out of?
What?
You say get out of the box. Or get out of.
Fridge.
Get out of what?
Fridge.
Fridge? Get out of the fridge? Yeah.
Get off of the plane.
Get out of the plane. Okay. Let's do this word. What's this one? Anybody know what this word says? Towards.
Move towards.
Mm-hmm. Move towards.
It's a tree. Towards you.
Move towards the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or walk towards the
House.
house. Very good. Let's try one more. Let's write this one here. What's this word? Between. How could we use between?
I'm sitting between this one and this one.
Very good. Yeah. You're sitting.
There's wall.
Yeah. Or you're sitting beside Tanya, or you're sitting between the wall and Tanya. Good. Very good. Okay. Let me erase these ones. So do you see how all these words are giving us movement? They're telling us to go into the box, move towards the door, or go around the table. They're telling you how to go around. Like, let's try this here. What do we have here? We have a box, and inside the box is a basket. So where's the basket? The basket is in the box. What about, let's try this one.
The box.
The box.
Is on top of the basket.
Yep. Or the basket is under the box. Good job. Or if I put my pen in the basket.
In the box.
The pen is in the basket, right. Now, where is it now? Or beside the basket. Good job. So that's giving us the location where the pen is. Yeah. So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? And I'm going to call your names, and when I say it, you're going to do what I said, okay? So Vika walked between the tape on the floor. So you're going to get up and you're going to walk between the tape, okay? Good job. Between it, yeah, just walk between. Okay, and you can go sit down. Sasha, can you walk around the tape on the floor? Good job. Lisa, can you go under the table? Good job. Okay, thank you. Dima, can you walk towards the whiteboard? Towards the whiteboard. Good job. Thank you. Misha, can you step over the tape on the floor? Okay, step over. Yeah, and then you can go sit back down. Yeah, thank you.
Let's review a little bit about what the teacher said and add something to it as well. When we talk about prepositions of movement, we're talking about one thing that stays still and one thing that moves. Let's use this tube and this pencil to try to illustrate some of these things. We assume that one thing stays still. So this tube is the thing that is staying still. And the pencil is the thing that is moving. So it can move in different ways, but we're saying it moves in relation to the thing that's staying still. So our pencil could move over the tube. That means it's high, it's not touching it usually, and it's going past it up here. Or it can go under the tube. Same thing. You can go over a hill, or you can go under a bridge or under a table. And sometimes we have something that goes around something. You can walk around the house or walk around a square in your town. And maybe it can go through something. In order for this to happen, it has to be hollow. You have to be able to go through. Or maybe something goes into something. You can go into your house, into your school, and then out of. So into and out of, but this one is through because it comes out the other side. And then if there were two things, say two chairs, you could say something goes between them, between the two. But you have to have two things standing still for them to do that. Now, there are some other words as well. If the two things are a little bit far apart, one thing can be moving towards the other. They're coming closer together. One is moving towards the other. Or if they're both moving, you say they're coming towards each other. They come towards each other, but if one stays still, then the pencil is coming towards the tube. There are some other words as well. Let's look at these other prepositions. Let me use a book instead of the tube. If I have the pencil, it can come onto the book. Now it's touching it, it's on the surface. It was not there before, now it's come onto the book. I could get up onto my desk or onto a bed or onto my table. Then it can move across. Moving across usually means you're still touching it and you're moving from one side to the other. I can walk across the road. I can walk across a field or across a bridge. Then when you come to the other side, if it's high like this, you can go off of. It can fall off of something.